I'm still sick to my stomach. Not because I got a bad beat, not because I bubbled, not because poker was unfair. I'm sick to my stomach because I know exactly who to blame. Me. Lovely day, poker enthusiast. Yesterday was the 550 big game at Sal's room. 37 players, 6 rebuys, over $20,000 in the prize pool. And for about 9 hours, I played some really good poker. That's the part that's bothering me. Because if I played terrible all day, fine. If I got lucky all day, fine. But I didn't. I played good. I was making reads, making the right folds, making the right calls, building a stack, getting closer and closer to the money, closer and closer to the final table. And eventually, we get there.
And that's where the trouble started, boy. Not the final table, the chip.
The chip?
The chip? The pink one? Patient zero? Ground zero? The beginning of the end?
Now hold on. He's talking about Eileen Chafe. And honestly, this is where the story starts getting weird. Eileen gets it all in with pocket queens. Brian Reynolds snap calls with king queen offsuit. King comes on the flop. Queens get cracked. And suddenly Eileen is left with one chip. One. Single. Pink. 5K chip. That's it. Tournament life hanging by a thread. And if you played tournament poker long enough, you know what usually happens next. People clap, people say nice hand, and somebody heads for the parking lot.
Except she didn't go to the parking lot, did she?
No, she didn't. She wins the next hand and now has 30K chips. Then she wins another all-in, and before you know it, that one chip becomes 100,000 chips. And now she's sitting under the gun. She jams. I peel my cards. And for one beautiful moment, I see pocket aces. And I'm thinking, okay, that's it. The comeback ends here.
That's what you thought.
That's exactly what I thought. But then another thought crossed my mind. Neil Dalton was short. A couple other stacks looked interested. And I didn't want to scare anybody away. So instead of rejamming, I flat called, trying to look weak, trying to look suspicious, trying to invite action. Everybody folded. Just me and Eileen. Aces versus ace-king suited. And if you've watched me and Allin10J over the years, you already know where this story is going. Because somehow, some way, that woman beats me more than anybody should legally be allowed to.
I got files. You think I'm joking? I got files.
Flop comes, king, queen, king. And just like that, the comeback continues again. Now she's alive again. And my aces are in the muck again. And suddenly, that little pink chip is still in the tournament again.
That's the moment. Right there. Put a pin in it. That's when the whole tournament went sideways.
Maybe, maybe not. But I'll tell you this. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not consciously, but it was there. That one chip. That one comeback. That one hand. And a few hands later, Neil Dalton jams from the button. He's the shortest stack at the table, and I'm in the big blind. I look down at ace 4, and I say, I have to call, Neil. I have an ace, and you could be jamming with anything. So I call. He tables queen deuce. I hit an ace on the flop, and Neil goes out in 10. And now we're rolling. Still alive, still fighting, still dreaming.
And this is where people think the story ends. But no. This is where Phil starts making his own decisions.
Blinds go to 10,000, 25,000, and a 25,000 ante. I've got 340K in chips. Not chip leader. Not desperate. Still got a stack. I'm on the button. And before the cards are even dealt, I make a decision. I literally decide, if everybody folds to me, I'm stealing. I don't even know what my cards are yet. I'm stealing. And sure enough, it folds around. Action's on me. I look down at 2 of clubs, 4 of clubs. And instead of stopping, instead of resetting, instead of taking a breath, I stick with the plan. All in, 340,000 chips.
Don't say it. I know what happens. Everybody knows what happens.
Brian Reynolds wakes up with kings. Snap call, of course. Board runs out 3-3-9-9. And 9.5 hours later, I'm walking to the rail. And here's the worst part. I knew immediately. Not after the board, not after the bust out. Immediately. The second the chips went in, I knew.
The feeling? Every poker player knows the feeling.
Exactly. The feeling. The one where you know it wasn't variance. It wasn't luck. It wasn't fate. It was you. And that's what I've been thinking about all morning. Because one decision erased 9.5 hours of really good poker. At least that's how it feels today.
Wrong. 9.5 hours got you to the decision. And one pink chip got you to the 9.5 hours. The chip remains undefeated, by.
And then, because the poker guards weren't finished laughing at me, I get home, reach into my pocket, and find the last man standing money. Still there. So now I gotta drive back to the club, walk back in, face everybody again, hand over the money, and relive the whole thing one more time.
That's what you get for ignoring the evidence, Philip.
When I got back, Eileen was out in 8th. Eric Stamp then finishes in 7th. Devin Podester finishes in 6th. Brian Kosh takes 5th. And Tina Chafe, Aaron Parsons, Stephen March, and Brian Reynolds agreed to a 4-way chop to wrap up a fantastic day of poker. GG's to everybody. And honestly, if there's a lesson in all this, it's probably this. The hands you lose hurt. The decisions you regret stay with you. But tomorrow's another tournament. And thank God for that. Because I'd really like another crack at this one. Thanks for watching. See you on the felt and run good, you legend.